What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin Cash today. It is the 10th day of December, and we are sitting here at about $568 with 7 hours and 15 minutes left in the day. Shout out to the Dragon Riders and the House of the Dragon. Here we are, my friends. Hit that like button, subscribe, and let's get into it. Pulling back a little bit, and I must admit, I'm just surprised at the mere fact that we have a 2.7% discount today. I'm surprised that there's anybody who wants to sell Bitcoin Cash at all. I'm not surprised that we're finding support at prior resistance here, prior support areas back here as well. I'm not surprised by that. We likely do hold this area of support. The low that we found today at 559 is likely the low, and we continue to move up higher. But let's look at the short-term stuff and then go from there. Just to make it clear as to what my predictions are, my forecast is for Bitcoin Cash. My thought here is that we are at the very precipice of an enormous move that will take us likely above $3,000, if not even potentially above $5,000. But something that is rather spectacular is coming our way. It could very well take us to new all-time highs, if not certainly, I think at least above this monthly high close. But we'll get into that maybe later. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame and then we'll zoom out from there. Looking at this here, $568 now, coming up a little bit in the last hour. This is a bullish engulfing candle. Some people, and again, some people define bullish engulfing candles. This candle would have to wick below this wick, and then you come up and do this. I think an engulfing candle is just something that, it engulfs the prior, like this red candle here, that was a bearish engulfing candle. Did it have as much merit? No, but it still promoted the price down a little bit, right? Maybe there's more merit, maybe there's more oomph to bullish engulfing candles that do engulf the wicks entirely, but I do feel comfortable calling this a bullish engulfing candle. Looking at the indicators, besides getting caught up on the semantics here, we are breaking out with more volume. That is something to mention. That is something to be, I suppose, a little bit concerned with. Getting oversold, not getting overbought, rejecting the 50, but we did find support at the 40. That's good. Stochastics make me think that we'd go higher. If we were at the base of this here last hour, I would have thought that we'd have lower to go. But there wasn't a whole lot of volume. It's as if this attempt here broke out of this trend. There was no volume that came in. No volume at all. It's like you tried to push lower, but there was no volume. So we're here when you push lower, you got that volume. We'll see. But I don't think that you go lower. If you do go lower, you probably barely go below this low. Okay, and likely everything that we've talked about to the upside still happens. The MACD looks like it wants to transfer to the positive side, and the stochastics do as well. So that's all bullish on all indicators here on the 4 hour time frame. Now on the 1 hour time frame, on the 4 hour, the RSI to me does look like it's in a bit of trouble. I mean, to be completely fair, from here you've got like lower lows and lower highs. Perhaps we come up, we find resistance. We could even get a higher high relative to this, just like we did back here. Would it be hidden bearish divergence? It could be. Okay. Okay, and the stochastics are bearish, and the MACD, in all fairness, is bearish as well. But there is bullish divergence. Ooh, there's double bullish. No, there's just regular bullish divergence. Okay. Let's pretend for a second we're in a world where Bitcoin Cash does go below this low. Where might it go? If you're not finding support at these points of resistance, perhaps then you find support at these points of resistance here on a closing basis, here on a closing basis, wicking basis, tons of resistance there on a closing basis as well. We take a low to a high, and we get rid of this line because that's the line that we're at right now for support. That's below the 0.5. Bitcoin Cash actually does, it's kind of weird, but it does like to find support below its 0.5. Typically, like in a fib range, oh, that's the wrong way that I'm drawing it. Let me just get a clean slate here. Typically within a fib range, you would expect that if you came below the 0.5, you would go down to the golden ratio. But Bitcoin Cash does like to find support for some reason between the 0.5 and the golden ratio. It's almost as if here my golden ratio zone is 618 to the 6.9, but for Bitcoin Cash it might be more appropriate to shift it from the 618 to the 0.5, from the 618 to 6.9 to the 618 to 0.5 instead. So with that being said, all I'm trying to say is we could go a little bit lower. Maybe we even go below 556, perhaps we even go below that low, but I wouldn't assume we go too much lower. Certainly, I would be surprised if we went below like $537. I don't anticipate that, but we could see a lower low. I'm not saying this because I'm predicting it. My prediction, and I've made it clear, but let me just reiterate, I think we found the low. I think that is the low. I think we will recover from here. But there's some implications. I say implications, not indications, implications in the charts, in the indicators that we could go lower. Not like crazy lower, not like a breakout catastrophe lower, but just a little lower. And I'm making you aware of this possibility, not the probability, but the possibility that we could go anywhere from let's say 555 to 537, because if it happens, I don't want you to be counting on this upside move to happen. You get scared because we've quote unquote broken out of this zone when really it's just a lower low. We're just consolidating still and we're ready to break out, probably just from a lower point. Make no mistake, and there's a reason why I started the video off with what I started it off with. We are likely going to prices that are around, if not above, our all-time highs. It's going to happen here pretty soon. But on the short-term stuff, we can get a little squibbly. You know what I mean? That's all that's happening. I still do assume that this is the low. I still do assume that we're going to move higher. But in case I'm wrong, that's the outcome that would provide me wrong, is that outcome there. The stochastics are coming up. There is some bullish stuff here. The fact that you're crossing, both of these are crossing out of the oversold zone, it's nice. But you are still bearish. The RSI is still bearish. And the MACD, for what it's worth, is still technically bearish as well. All that being said, you are at points where you've bounced before on the RSI. You are reset on your stochastics. And if both these oscillators are coming out of the oversold zone, that's typically a good thing. Typically means you're ready to move higher. And the MACD is also reset because this is a typical area that you find support. You literally found support at this exact area with your oscillators last time. So we could go a little bit lower. Like this here, you know, we went a little bit below these lows, but then we rallied. We might go a little bit lower, but then we'll rally. Or we'll just rally from here. One of those two outcomes. Okay. I'm calling for this to be the low. I don't think we go below. But in the event that I'm wrong, I've given you that scenario, right? And if I'm really wrong, well, here's your really wrong scenario. That's I don't expect that. That's a bad joke. You know it's a bad joke when you're the only one laughing at it, right? Looking at this here, the RSI is in some deep consolidation right now, you guys. Very deep consolidation. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Higher lows here, flat tops there, higher lows and flat tops there. This boiling point is going to spill over at some point, I would imagine, to the upside. We like flat tops with ascending lows. This makes you think that the next move will probably just erupt into the overbought zone. And when we get overbought, we tend to get pretty good, pretty good movement. You know, I mean, here, the last time that we really got overbought, here we rejected the overbought zone, but the last time that we really got overbought, we saw, from a low to a high, we saw 23% pump in a 4-day period. I mean, just imagine from here, from this low, if we were to pump 24%, I mean, that takes us to $700, guys. At that point, we're in full, and if we get that kind of move, we're going to get a much bigger move than this. And that was just the last time that we really got overbought. Over here was when we got overbought. Because we weren't overbought over there. That was just the last time that we got overbought. The time before had similar results. The time before had similar results. The time before was just 1 day to the upside, but still, I would expect that we do move to the upside. I've got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Everything looks bullish. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.